The pound rallying on a European Union and UK draft agreement on the future relationship between the two, which has been seen by Bloomberg. Now, it sees a free trade area, deep regulatory cooperation, and highlights the determination to replace the much-discussed backstop. For more, our reporter Maria Tadeo joins us from Brussels. Maria, if we put this into English, this is kind of like broadly what the future relationship could look like, subject to approval.
Right. Just to clarify, because you make a very good point, this is an agreement between the UK government and the European Commission. It needs to get the seal of approval from European heads of states. That's key. But if you look at this document, and it's a pretty big document, it's very detailed language, but I would say overall what you get is the backstop. Again, the language on that has really softened. So you could argue that's very good for Prime Minister May, because that's not gone down well in the UK. When it comes to trade, what you get is it's an ambitious trade deal for sure. And when it comes to financial services, Europe says, OK, we're not exactly the same, but we're going to use equivalence, which means you're a different jurisdiction, a different regulation, but we can do business together. Also, I want to point out there is a line on fishing. The French had been very vocal on this. I think any indication that they're backing off will be good. The one thing that I think it's important to look at, and it really caught my attention, is the fact that there is no mention of Gibraltar. And at this point, what I hear from the Spanish government is that they really want to get this one line included in the document. If not, they're not going to vote in favor of it. And that could be a problem, because the EU wants to get an agreement that everyone is happy with.
Maria, so the Prime Minister returns to Brussels on Saturday for these last-minute talks. Is it now almost a done deal? I mean, it's always difficult to say a done deal when you talk about Brussels and Europe, but is it 80% likely that she will get a sign-off?
It's difficult to say, and yesterday we heard from the Germans who were very vocal on this. They really don't see a point of holding a summit again if we don't get the deal signed. I think at this point, the two big sticking points was fishing from the French. We have a line in this document, and then there was Gibraltar from the Spanish. That could turn, I think, into a much bigger thing, because the Spanish government has also made it clear they're not going to sign this thing if they don't get a special line. Now, in theory, they're not going to derail the whole thing, but you could argue they have a moral veto over this. And it would be very difficult for Tusk, for Juncker, to say this has been a successful deal if you get a big European country that's unhappy and that's making very public comments about them just not being happy on this. So I think the fact that we don't have a line on Gibraltar in this document is something we really need to keep an eye on.